This episode of the BJJ Foxcast is brought to you by BioPro. BioPro is an all-natural alternative to prescription human growth hormone, which aids in recovery, anti-aging, metabolism, libido, immunity, skin health, cognition, sleep, and stress. Just one vial per day provides a substantial boost to all of these growth factors. Okay, so that's what they want me to say. Here's what I know as an aging grappler. I've been using BioPro Plus and the nighttime variant, BioPro Plus Cortisleep, for several months, and it feels like I've grown a third lung. My gas tank is noticeably bigger, my recovery is faster, and I'm back on the mats much quicker, not just between training sessions, but between rounds. Now you can get $30 off your first order of BioPro when you use the code Foxcast at www.bioproteintech.com. That's code Foxcast for $30 off your first order at www.bioproteintech.com. Thank you, BioPro. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the BJJ Foxcast. I am your host, Alex Martinez, and today I have none other than Issa Able on the show. Issa is a black belt under Gustavo Dantas, and he is the owner and head instructor of One Love Grappling Arts. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, I want to ask you, because like your most recent, history in jiu-jitsu is straight up jiu-jitsu in the gi and no gi, right? No gi game.
As far as competing?
Yeah, but
more no gi.
More no gi. But you did MMA for a while, huh?
Back in the day.
Back in the day. So tell me about that. What got you into MMA?
Well, me and my buddy Jonathan Van Buren.
Yeah.
We right when we graduated high school, we're like, hey, you want to be an MMA fighter? And he's like, sure.
Yeah.
And somehow we got the key to the wrestling room, so we started like messing around over there.
Still at the high school.
Just cranking on each other's. Yeah, we had already graduated. We just know the coach.
Right.
So he gave us a key. And then like after we're like doing crazy shit, like neck cranks and like double ankle locks to each other and stuff. We're like, all right, we need like a real gym.
Yeah.
So then that's when we walked into probably the original Gracie Baja in Arizona.
The one Metro area?
At Metro Center.
Yeah. That's
shut
old school, yeah.
Old school, like maybe 2008.
Yeah. Who was the instructor out there? Do you remember?
It was Mark Z.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. Okay. So you walked into your first like official jiu-jitsu school.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Just like, whoa, this is different.
Yeah.
Like being on your back and all that. So we like basically just jumped like head first into jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Okay.
And then like the whole MMA thing like didn't become as big of a deal. We're like, oh, I want to do this because it gives us the same feel and camaraderie as like wrestling, like getting ready for competitions, hanging out after practice, just the whole grappling art of it. And then I had some MMA fights. This is after about 8 months there, we moved to Arizona Combat Sports, which was
that was big.
Gustavo
then.
Was the instructor. This is right where CB Dalloway and Ryan Bader. Right before they left.
Before they went to Power, right? They started Power after that?
Yes. Yeah. And we knew them from ASU Wrestling.
Yep.
We didn't know like too much about MMA other than just watching UFC.
What about Cain Velasquez? Was he part of that group or no?
No, he was already at AKA.
Okay,
at the point. I think he was kind of dabbling there, but then he moved to San Jose and started.
Yeah, because he took it real serious real early on, I think.
Yeah. I think like 5 fights, 6 fights in, he's like fighting like in the UFC.
Yeah, wild man.
Killing it.
Yeah, so you're at AZ Combat Sports, and that's when you started with Gustavo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I like pretty much only go into jiu-jitsu. I would do kickboxing like once a week.
Wow. Okay.
Even like my MMA fights, like I never really had a training camp.
Oh, really? You just jumped in?
I mean, like I'd do kickboxing classes here and there.
Yeah.
There was a couple people with like some egos that kind of kept me out of the getting too far into MMA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's just like they refused to acknowledge me as an MMA guy. They're like, you're the jiu-jitsu guy. Like no matter what I did.
Right.
But I had like one fight a year for 5 years.
What was the promotion you were fighting under? Just various, or was it one specific?
I did Rage in the Cage.
Rage in the Cage, okay.
And I did another one. I forgot what it's called, to be honest. It's like so long ago, but it was WFF. I don't know.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
All local though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All in Arizona. I had 3 amateur, 2 professional fights.
Okay. And then so was that the direction? Well, it sounds like that was the direction you wanted to go, but did you find yourself kind of fading away from that and going more towards jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. I just like realized that getting hit in the head is not that fun.
Yeah.
And then like I started like doing more research on like how much most UFC fighters make, especially back then.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
Honestly, it hasn't changed much as far as like the intro level goes, right?
Yeah.
You have to like build a following, and they have to like you, and the UFC has to like you, and you have to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
I'm not a very big yes man.
You don't strike me as one. Yeah.
No, I'm just like, let me think about this.
Yeah.
Like that just kind of faded away. And then one day, like after like my very last fight, I was like, I think I'm going to just stick to jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And maybe like see what happens with this.
Okay. Was the plan to always open your own academy?
No.
Okay.
No. I didn't know what my plan was. I just knew that I liked jiu-jitsu and I liked training, and Gustavo gave me an opportunity to start helping with the 4 to 6 year old class.
Oh, okay.
Basically like babysitting them.
Yeah, of course.
Them how to front roll.
Yeah. Don't burn the place down. Yeah.
And then slowly, as I was doing that, like AZ Combat and GD Jiu-Jitsu split.
Okay, is that when he went to his own spot?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Even though they were across the street from each other, they just opened 2 whole separate places. Yeah. And that's when like the head teaching opportunity started at Arizona Combat Sport for me.
Oh wow!
Yeah. I was still a purple belt.
Wow, I was going to ask you.
You want to be the head instructor here? I'm like, are you sure about that?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I was like, okay, I'm in.
And who did you work for at AZ Combat? Who's the owner?
Trevor.
Okay. Yeah.
He was an awesome guy. Yeah. Treated me well.
Yeah.
Wow. And then I met my wife maybe 2 or 3 years after doing that, and then
not in the academy though.
There
really?
I met her at.
Oh, no kidding!
Everything I have, all my friends, everything's from jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, same here. That's wild, man. Yeah. Wow. And how old were you when you were the head instructor there?
Maybe like 20.
20. Wow.
21.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility.
It was, and then I kind of was like, hey, I don't think I could do a gi program here. Like, I want to just do a no gi program. Are you guys cool with that? I don't feel right giving out belts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were cool with it.
Okay.
And then my wife planted the seed of opening my own academy.
Yeah.
And once that like became more and more real, then Steve Rosenberg.
Yeah, of course.
He happened to be like looking for a new spot to teach. I was like, perfect. Like, come take this over.
Yeah.
And he went and like ran with it. He has one of the best programs in Arizona now.
He is very quietly one of the best instructors in the state.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, he was one of my main instructors. Even like Gustavo was like, I owe a lot to Steve. A lot of my game comes from him. Yeah. And Gustavo is like combined, but of course, Steve had like a really cool way of breaking things down to where you only really need to see it once or twice, and then it could become a part of your game.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. You're not the first person to tell me that. Josh Rodriguez was telling me about Steve, and I've seen him compete. I've never trained under Steve at all. Like, I've never taken any classes with him, but I've seen him compete, and I've heard a lot of his students talk about him, and it makes sense that
he's the man. Like, he beat me up for 5 years.
Like,
one day I scored like an advantage on him, and he literally like, okay, I don't hold this against him, Steve, if you're watching. I still love you. But he ran me off the mat and tried to put me inside the trash.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Oh my God.
I'm like trying to I can't stop him from doing this. It sucks.
Yeah, man. That reminds me of I was at an open mat at Navas, and you were a brown belt at the time. And unfortunately for you, I was the only person without a partner, so you had to get stuck with a spazzy white belt. Maybe I was a blue belt, still spazzy. But I remember I was walking like towards you, and do you remember Jose Bufanda?
Yeah.
Boof was walking like past me, and he's like, "Don't shoot in on him." And I said, I was like, "Fuck that! I'm gonna shoot in." So I shot in, and you cross-faced me to my back.
Yeah.
Like, I shot in, and there was a forearm in my face, and next thing you know, I'm on my back. And then after that, it got worse.
Right.
So that was my first experience. So I imagine that's kind of similar to the Rosenberg experience going to the trash can.
Yeah. Like, when I rolled with Steve, it was like I just couldn't do anything to him, because like he was. Once when I walked into GD Jiu-Jitsu, he was already a Pan American champion at brown belt.
Wow.
It's like a couple months before he got his black belt.
Wow.
And that was like world-class level,
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the podium that he was on for Pans, it's like those guys went on all to become like world champs and stuff like that.
Yeah. And he won that one.
He won Pans at brown. Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
It's like actually a classic match, because he was behind, and there was like several seconds left, and he had his back. The guy had Steve's back, and then Steve like kind of plays, possum a little bit. Yeah. Then he reaches down, crosses the guy's ankle.
No, he didn't.
Yeah. He just reaches down, crosses the guy's ankle, and ankle locks him.
Wow.
And the whole like stadium went nuts.
I'm sure.
He like did like a lap around the whole stadium.
Did he really? Yeah. That's awesome. Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's Pans is unfortunately it's moved to Florida. I mean, for me, I mean, I'm sure it's still a great tournament, but that's just a long way to travel, dude.
It's far away.
Yeah, especially when you own your business and stuff like that. So, so tell me about One Love. Where exactly are you guys located?
We're in about North Phoenix area.
Okay.
We're on 32nd Street in Greenway. Right off the 51. You turn west.
Okay.
You turn left if you're going north, and then we're on the northeast corner.
Okay.
We just moved there like 3 months ago.
Yeah, because you were still off the 51, but maybe a little bit further south,
same
right?
intersection, just the opposite corner.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And just a larger space, is that why you moved?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And our lease was up, and the last landlord was...
Yeah. Dude, you know how close I came to moving?
Yeah.
My lease was up in November.
Oh, okay.
Well, we had an option for December, but it was up in November. And it's like, July. And I'm like, hey, we should start talking about the next lease, right? I'm trying to be proactive. Nothing. August, September. I'm like, hey, we got to do some October, right? And end of October, I'm like, hey, we've got to talk, because I'm not just going to sign anything.
Right.
And I felt like he was trying to paint me in this corner, like, hey, you got to sign now or I'm sorry, right? Yeah, that kind of thing. So I start looking and I found a spot like almost twice the size of what I have now. It was in a great location, but the rent was going to be spicy because it was like high traffic area, like a really good area. And I came real close to having to tell my students, hey, we're moving on Monday.
Right.
You know what I mean? I came that close, and luckily he was reasonable. We came up with a good, an agreeable, solution. But I just renewed for 3 years, but we came real close to moving overnight.
Yeah, it's the worst when they don't communicate with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
We kind of had the opposite. Like our lease was up in maybe like August or something like that, right? So we had signed with the other spot already in like January. So we're like, we're like
shit,
7 months ahead, dude. We're good.
Yeah.
And then August comes around and they're not ready. The build out is not even close to being ready. Like there's not even like, they didn't even have done the plumbing yet.
Oh my God. So you were a shell. You were building in a shell?
Yeah.
Like it was a shell and you were building all the plumbing?
Shell.
Whoa.
Nothing there, right? And the permitting and / the contractor just made it take longer and longer. So they gave us like an old one-stop nutrition.
Okay.
Which was really small.
Yeah, not that big. Yeah.
So I went from like maybe like 1,800 square feet of mats to like 800.
Oh no.
Right now. And then we were there for 4 months.
Oh my God.
They keep saying next week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I just told my son, I was like, this is our place for as far as we know.
Yeah.
Like,
this is my life.
I don't want to keep telling you guys in 2 weeks, because it kind of became a joke.
Yeah.
After a while, like, is there actually another place that exists?
There's an old movie. It's a Tom Hanks movie called The Money Pit, where he buys this big, beautiful house, but it's a shit house. Like like everything's broken, and he's got contractors, and they're always like, "Oh, 2 weeks, we'll be done in 2 weeks," and they're leaving laughing at him as he walks away. "Oh, see you in 2 weeks."
Yeah.
So yeah, same shit.
Wow. It ended up taking 4 months longer, but it like brought everyone's expectations really low.
Yeah.
So like they were like, we'll just be happy with anything at this point.
Yeah.
And then so we moved. Thankfully, like we finally moved into the new spot around October.
Okay.
Maybe like November, actually. Like it took 4 months longer than we thought.
Yeah.
And everyone's super happy. So thank God. It
worked
out. Yeah. Everyone's very happy. The wait was worth it.
Yeah.
So
that's good, man.
That.
And how much mat space do you have now?
Like right under 3,500.
I'm so jealous. I have 1,800 right now. Yeah, I want more mat space.
We went from 1,800 to 3,500. We went from 1,800 to 800 and then to 3,500.
Yeah. Isn't that wild? Like, people talk about like, even at 3,500, I'm sure people are like, oh, we need more mat space. Everybody's like, we need more mat space. I'm like, dude, I want you to Google jiu-jitsu academies in Brazil. They're like a shoebox, and there's 10 black belts, so you don't get to roll because there's 10 black belts in the room, and they're killing each other, and it's just like a sweat box, and there might be windows, there might be not, but they're happy. They're just happy to be rolling.
We put like 4 IBJJF size mats.
Yeah.
/ like an outline.
Nice.
I'm like, come on, guys, this is enough for like 500 people.
100%. You're absolutely right. Yeah. I've had 50 on my mats, and then 1,800 squares.
You could do that. Everyone just has to be respectful of each other's space. Like on the East Coast, like in even like downtown LA, like East Coast, like near Manhattan and stuff, there's like 800, 1,000 square feet, and they'll have like 200 people, 300 members, which is like that many. They're not obviously not all there at once, but they make it work. Yeah,
I know a guy. He's out of Orange County, and he has an 1,800 square foot facility, And he's got like 400 members, but he has classes all throughout the day.
Sure.
So, I mean, it works. He
Spread
makes it
it
work.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're adding a lot more classes as we go.
Yeah.
But I find like sometimes I have to pump the brakes because otherwise we'll have like 2 people for that class, or I'll just be sitting there. I'm like, I think I have too many classes right now.
Yeah.
But slowly, like they build up, obviously when you do new classes, you gotta kind of be patient.
Yeah, you do. You know, but I was actually having a conversation with that same guy about my classes and some of the day classes. Well, actually, it was a Saturday. I had a full schedule on Saturday. And I was like, man, they're just so underattended on, those 2 days. And he's like, you don't have the student count for those classes. And he's like, I can tell you, like, from experience, right? Sometimes you got to get rid of classes because you don't have the student count to justify them. Right. So if you're paying instructors and you're only getting 2 people showing up, it's like they're getting a really cheap private lesson on you, right? On the owner. So so you gotta we had to back off 2 classes we took off the schedule.
Yeah. They'll come back. It's just you need the numbers.
You need the numbers.
Like people vote with your attendance.
100%.
Just I want to be there. Can you do 6 a.m. classes every day?
Yeah. What we do, we have 5 days a week, and we had 6 days a week. That's one of the classes I had to get rid of.
The 6 a.m.
Yeah. And it's funny because the class that is left is now better attended.
Right.
So that's kind of
we have 3.
Oh, nice.
We want to add a 4th one soon.
It's tough.
It's just like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7
that's perfect. Yeah. Because Monday, Friday is hard for 6 a.m.ers.
Yeah. Maybe like if you stay up late on Sundays.
Or you want to take Friday off, something like that. Yeah. But no, that's cool, man. So I want to talk about kind of the your history, like personally, and getting to the U.S. because you and I talked about this years ago, and it's a really cool story, man. Where'd you grow up? Where were you born?
I was born in Tehran.
Okay.
In Iran. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And what I don't want to out you, but what year was that?
When was I? When
were you born? What
1990.
1990. Okay, so 1990. And what was it like there when you were a kid?
Just remember like lots of family.
Yeah.
Like weddings every weekend.
Yeah.
My dad's one of 10.
Okay.
My mom's one of 8.
Whoa. Okay.
My dad's the 8th born.
Okay.
My mom's the 2nd born.
Wow.
So on my dad's side of the family, like I had a lot of older cousins.
Yeah.
Like I played with a lot of my cousins' kids growing up, and my cousins would be hanging out with my parents,
right?
Because they're just the same age.
Yeah.
And then I'd be hanging out with my cousins' kids.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I grew up very similar to that. Not as many cousins, but yeah. I mean, just we never had outsiders at parties. Yeah. It was always family because there were so many people. Yeah. So what prompted your parents to leave Iran and come to the U.S.?
Well, one day my dad comes home and he's like, "Hey," he says, say goodbye to everyone at school," and literally it was that fast.
Yeah.
He was planning on going on his own. If anyone knows my dad, he's a wild man. And my mom's like, "You can't leave us here because this is an unknown route you're going to, and I don't know when you're gonna come back.
Yeah.
Or when you're gonna be able to bring us over." And then we literally started packing the next week.
Whoa.
Just selling everything, selling the house, whatever. And then we were on our way.
Did he give you a reason why? Did he just say we're going?
We're going to Australia.
Oh. Shit. Okay.
It's like, all right, let's go.
Where's that? Right?
And I was a kid. I'm like, cool, adventure. Let's go. I didn't know what it entailed.
Yeah.
And then we go to Malaysia for a couple weeks.
Okay.
And then from there, we're waiting there for a couple weeks. Then we go to Indonesia.
Okay.
And then from there, we go to Jakarta. We ride a bus to another city or state, whatever they call it, or province. From there, we take a boat and then another boat, and we just kept going closer and closer to Australia. If you see the map of Indonesia, it's like a chain of islands.
Yeah.
And then Australia is right here at the bottom. And we were trying to get on a boat and go there.
Wow.
And then while we were on the boat, it was a fishing boat made for 30 crew members, right? We had 500 people on there. Whoa. We were literally getting on the ship and we're hearing it crackle. We're like,
holy shit.
This is kind of scary.
Was it like a fishing boat or kind
of? It was a wooden fishing boat.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was very scary.
Wow.
I barely knew how to swim. My mom didn't.
Yeah.
And my 2 little sisters didn't.
Yeah.
And my dad only knows how to doggy paddle.
Okay. Yeah.
My dad was like, "Don't worry, guys, we will be safe." I bought some. We didn't say it in English.
Right.
I bought some extra life jackets and extra food that I hid by the captain. I was like, why would you have to do that? He's like, in case shit happens.
Yeah.
That was scary.
Yeah.
And so we're on that boat for like 2 weeks. We couldn't even leave the harbor. Like, where is that?
Yeah.
It's like one exit, right? Yeah. And it's like, yeah. And so they had to bribe the Coast Guard.
Yeah.
And they couldn't come to an agreement. And the dude that, I guess the coyote, that we paid all the money to, all of our savings, because we're about to go to Australia in a week.
Yeah.
It's like a 3-4 day boat ride.
Wow.
He bailed. So there was nobody negotiating. So then the United Nations came and like got everybody and put us in the back of semi-trucks and took us to a refugee camp.
Whoa.
And they're like, hey, you guys, you can either go back to your country, we'll pay for the ticket, or wait here to see if we can get any countries to sponsor you and see if they interviewed everybody to see who'd be, what countries fit in best.
Yeah.
And little did we know, I don't know. I'm like 9 at the time.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, dude, in like 3 to 6 months, you guys would be out of here. And we ended up being there for almost 3 years in Indonesia.
Wow. In the refugee camp?
No, in the refugee camp for 6 months.
Okay.
And then after that, we went back to Jakarta, which is the capital.
Yeah.
And then we were there for about 2 years.
And did you have any idea what was going on at that time? Like, did you know, like, hey, we're cool, we're going, but we just got to ride this out? Or
well,
at any point, could you get sent back?
We didn't think we'd get sent back.
Okay.
As far as I remember.
Yeah.
Because all I cared about is like, dude, I'm in a tropical forest.
That's true. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Coconut trees and like fishing and stuff.
Yeah. Did you make friends out there? I'm sorry to keep interrupting you, but
no,
my brain is just going. Yeah. So you made friends out there,
lots
like the
of
locals?
Friends. Yeah. I learned Indonesian pretty fast.
Yeah.
And once we moved back to Jakarta, it was hell for us because there was no AC and it's like 95 degrees with 100% humidity every day.
Yeah.
So my dad goes on a he goes on a hunt, like what would you call it? Like a scouting trip to find like a better place to be. And Indonesia, Jakarta, there's one big mountain. Forgot what it's called.
Yeah.
But if like it's just straight uphill from Jakarta, you go up that way. And then it's like 70 degrees every day, no mosquitoes, no need for AC.
Oh.
Yeah. So we moved there, and then we were there for about 2 years until we came here.
That's got to be like, I don't know, at least 3,000 feet, no?
It was up.
It was up. Yeah, it was way up.
A good hour to get there from Jakarta.
Yeah.
And it was really beautiful, really, really beautiful. Wow. And there's like monkeys there and like really cool.
That's wild, man.
And then my dad's like, hey, Issa, we tells the whole family, we found like the perfect place, Issa, because I was really into soccer. It's like, there's a big old field behind there. You can go play soccer every day. I was like, sold. So let's go. And then we show up and it's this one house on a hill by itself. I'm like, where's everybody else?
Oh, shit.
It turns out that field he's talking about is a graveyard behind us. Literally, like the first grave was like outside of my window.
Oh my gosh!
I was like, I don't want to play soccer here.
Whoa!
So we were there for a good 2 years, and then once all the other, I guess, refugees or migrants, whatever you want to call them, heard about that, they all moved there.
Okay, so your friends basically came with them.
All
right?
the Middle Eastern people. Yeah. There was a bunch of Middle Easterns from Iran, Afghanistan, Iraq. Those were actually like the main 3.
Yeah, I wonder if any of them like stayed and just
some of them did.
Yeah,
yeah, and having kids there and just kind of living over there. Because in Indonesia is really, at least where we were, is very, very relaxed.
Yeah,
no one really does anything. I don't know how they make money. I really didn't. We didn't know.
Yeah, were they cool with you guys just being there?
Yeah.
Okay.
They called us Arabs.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're like, I'm not Arabic, I'm Iranian, but they didn't care.
They didn't care.
You're Arabic and you guys are rich. Because they thought we're all from Saudi Arabia or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if like, I hate to say this, but where I come from, if there's any kind of Asian culture, that it's all Chinese. Like, I'm like, you guys know they're like there's several separate countries in Asia, right? But it's just, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Yeah.
Yeah. In like most countries, I'm Arabic, no matter what.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Do you speak? What is it? Iranian? What is the language? Farsi. Do you speak Farsi?
Farsi is the national language of Iran, so everybody speaks it.
Yeah.
And then most provinces have their own language. So
okay.
My family's from the Kurdish part, so I also speak Kurdish.
Whoa. Okay. How many languages do you speak?
3.
3? Okay.
English, Kurdish, and...
Well, you're in Phoenix, so you speak a little Spanish. You speak a little Spanish if you're
a little bit. I'm not trying to brag, but I'm top 1% on Duolingo.
Are you doing Duolingo? I tried doing Portuguese and Duolingo, and I thought, well, I know Spanish. It's got to be close. It's not. It's just
pronounce things really differently.
Very differently, yeah.
Spell things differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my Spanish is to the point where someone can be like, you're trying.
Right.
You know,
yes.
But it's not like, you can have a full-on conversation.
Yeah. It's I went to a friend's wedding this past weekend. And I was a best man, so we're kind of in the back room,
nice.
Ready to come out.
Yeah.
And it's in Mexico, and the people say, hey, the interpreter didn't show up. I'm like, so what does that mean? They're like, well, we need you to translate.
You're from Phoenix, close enough.
Right? I was like, no. What exactly does that mean? They're like, oh, they're going to talk about this, and they're going to talk about that. I'm like, no. I don't speak church. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Mine's very conversational with family.
Where's
like
the bathroom?
Right. That guy.
Where's the restaurant?
I'm a little bit more advanced than that, but not church wise, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, so I was sweating the whole time. I'm shaking, like,
yeah.
And the guy mumbled. So I was like, you're gonna have to hit me with that again.
Were you like the next authority when it came to speak Spanish? Like,
I'm sure there was somebody better in that room, but they didn't step up. I was like, I got roped into that one. So yeah, but that was nerve wracking, dude. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So the only other experience I had with that was years ago. I was on a job site because I worked, in a construction industry, and this guy comes up and he says, "Hey, can you help me out? I've got some Cuban guys that don't speak a lot of English, and I need you to show." He was an electrician, so I need you to tell them, whatever. I've never said volt or amp or conduit in my life in Spanish. You know what I mean? So I'm calling my mom. I was like, "Hey, what's this? What's that?" So my mom was helping. I had her on speakerphone. It's hilarious, but.
Your mom speaks Spanish?
Well? My mom, well, I grew up speaking Spanish. So my mom, my mom, dad, and both my brothers were all born in Mexico.
I see.
So I was the first one in my family to be born in the States. So they're all nationalized citizens. My sister and I were born in the States. And so, I grew up speaking Spanish. I actually didn't really speak a lot of English until like maybe the first grade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we were on a border town, so everybody spoke Spanish, even the teachers, you know. Yeah, so, it was very, very common that happened.
I love the way Spanish sounds. Like, that's why I wanted to get into it.
Yeah.
And plus, like, there's Spanish-speaking people everywhere.
Yes, absolutely.
I make a lot of my students, like, answer me in Spanish.
Do you really? Oh, that's good. That's good. That'll help you.
I don't make them. Like, they like helping me.
Yeah, that's good.
Because most people think it's cool that you want to learn their language.
100%, yeah.
Like, if somebody wanted to learn Farsi, like, I'll help them out.
Right. Yeah. That's a tough language too, right? Farsi.
It's just so different.
Yeah. So, of the groups in the camps, like, how many different languages were there?
Just mainly Arabic, Farsi. That's pretty much it. Like, mainly those two.
Can you work your way between the two languages? Like, if somebody speaks Farsi and doesn't speak Arabic,
you could learn.
Okay.
It's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Well, my grandma is from Iraq.
Okay.
So is my mom. They were both.
Oh, I didn't know
Iraq.
that. Okay.
Yeah. So I was around Arabic all the time.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So while we were in that camp, I kind of learned Arabic a little bit.
Yeah.
Just from being around it my whole life. But then it kind of fizzled away as we moved.
Yeah.
Because I even learned Indonesian, and that's gone.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
I only speak Indonesian in my dreams.
Do you really?
Yeah. I'm like, how the fuck do I understand this?
That's funny,
while I'm
man.
dreaming, I'm like, wow, I know I'm gonna forget all this when I wake up.
Yeah. Did you ever sense like your parents kind of like losing hope? After 3 years. Yeah. What was that like?
It was tough, you know, because we were already there for like 2.5 years, and one day my dad comes home. And he's like, all right, there's another boat. We found another person that's going to take us to Australia. We're going to go next week. Everything was like immediate with my dad,
Yeah.
And then I'm like, fuck, like, aren't we supposed to go to America? They're like, they told us that 1.5 years ago. Like, we got to, like.
So the end goal was always the U.S.
Because I didn't go to school for 3 years. No, we didn't know.
Okay.
It was Australia.
Okay.
And then after they interviewed us, little did we know there was over 3,000 to 4,000 cases. Wow. We were that was our boat. We only knew them.
Yeah.
And long story short, maybe less than 20 cases got to come to the U.S. and we were one of them somehow.
Wow.
I don't know how we won the lottery, I guess.
But so cases, were you going through like the State Department, or was it like
the UN?
The UN.
They'd interview each family
to
see what country fits them best.
Whoa.
Yeah. So my dad comes home. We're like, I guess we're packing again. All right. So we start packing. And like that morning before we left, my mom's like, I have a bad feeling about this trip. I don't want to go. Like my mom never disagrees with my dad, for better or worse.
Yeah.
But this time she was just like, we're not coming. Like, you can go on your own if you want. And he's like, all right, fuck it, we're not going. I guess we'll wait a few more months, see what happens, and then we'll take that up again and like reevaluate things. Long story short, a week later, we find out that boat took off. It like
Sank?
a big wave hit it in the ocean and it just broke apart.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and there was about close to 500 people on there, and about maybe like 40 of them lived.
Whoa.
And we were like that close to getting on there. Yeah.
Oh.
And my parents almost adopted one of the girls that was on that boat because we knew her parents.
Yeah. And the parents didn't make it, huh?
Nobody did.
Oh my gosh.
Very rare for the whole family to make it. I mean, like everybody lost each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're trying to hold on to, because we went to the camp of the survivors, you know, because my dad knew some of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was rough.
Wow.
Like to see like that many hopeless people. And I'm like, damn, we were almost there.
Yeah.
I would have drowned. I was 10. Like,
yeah.
To this day, like my max swimming time is like 1 minute. I can just like splash in. Yeah, maybe 2 minutes max.
Yeah, man. That's a scary. And your mom just had that intuition, like, I'm not getting on this boat. Yeah. Wow.
And even the people that were like getting on the boat, they're like, the survivors, they're like, we don't know why we went. Because like there was just like shoulder to shoulder standing like this, you know?
Oh my gosh.
On a 4-day boat trip. And they said the first big wave that hit it, the whole thing just split. And just people went everywhere and trying to hold on to each other to live, and crazy.
And was that another case where there was a guy, like a coyote, like, give me money and I'll take you kind of thing? Whoa. Yeah, it's scary.
They cracked down on it, obviously, you know, after that.
Yeah.
But it was like an open route, right? Because, you know, I'm not trying to talk shit about Indonesia.
No, of course not.
But like, they're not, at least back then, things have changed, but you could have easily bribed anyone with anything. I'm talking to the point where you could show up to their airport without a visa and just give them $20. Boom, here's a visa. Back then.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it's changed a little bit.
Like, imagine doing that in the U.S., just showing up like, I don't have a visa, but here's $20. You know, like, it was like that back then.
Wow, man.
You could just kind of do anything you want.
Yeah.
As long as you had some money.
Did you ever make it to Australia?
No, not even close.
Have you ever been? Like,
no. I have a lot of first cousins that live there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Family members, and like even after that, people were still going.
But they didn't get to come to the States, right? They went. Or did they go there on their own?
You cannot just show up here. At least not back then. I don't know how things are now.
Yeah.
But back then, like, you couldn't just be like, I want to go to America. Like, you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know, but like it was like really strict.
Wow.
You know? Even after we came here, like my dad had his strategies, like, all right, I want to become a citizen as fast as we can. It took us 5 years, we became citizens, but we knew people that took him 10, 15 years and they didn't.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. My brother, I think my brother Al, he was in the Navy, and I don't think he became a citizen until almost when he got out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't a naturalized citizen. Like, he was a green card holder, but he didn't have a citizenship until
serving in the military, not a citizen.
Yeah, not a citizen.
That's amazing.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
That's wild.
But you know, we grew up, like, we were on a border town. Even when we lived in Mexico, we still came to school in the States.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so our parents, dude, check this out. So I'm in kindergarten, I think. No, yeah, kindergarten, because we're going to Immaculate Conception Elementary School in Brownsville, Texas. It's a Catholic school. I know you're shocked. So we're going. so my parents would put us on a bus. It was like a gutted out van with like a U-shaped wooden seat in it that you just pile people in. Mm-hmm. You know, like cartoonish almost. There's so many people in it, right? But there's me and my two brothers who are 3 and 4 years older than I am, so not much older. And the thing would drive us to the border. We'd get off, we'd go walk across the border crossing, and then 2 blocks out, that's where our school was.
In America.
And then we
lived in Mexico.
And we lived in Mexico. So, and then we moved to Brownsville. I think first grade, I went to a different school. And
what state?
What's
Arizona?
No, Texas.
Texas.
Yeah, Brownsville, Texas. So, so I lived on the border. I mean, pretty much my whole life until I moved away. I was 19 when I moved away. But yeah, that was kind of my life. You know, I kind of joke, but it's kind of true. You know, you don't have to know Spanish if you live in Brownsville unless you want to buy something.
Right.
You know, unless you know what I mean, or you need a mechanic or something. But there are English speakers, but Spanish gets you way farther there.
Ah, wow.
Yeah.
And it's in America.
It's in America, but it's all. I mean,
that's one of the beauties of America, right? It's like a melting pot.
It really is. Yeah.
There's no Farsi-speaking towns that I know.
No. But you know, you'll find pockets of places like I think like Minnesota has a lot of Middle Eastern. The culture there's like big, huge. I think.
I know like probably the biggest Iranian population is in LA.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. And then the biggest Kurdish population is in Memphis.
I
know. What the fuck?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they like country music.
We had family friends that moved there just to be around more Kurdish people.
Okay.
You know, Kurdish people, Iran, everybody like likes their culture. If you go up around the whole thing, and then you just move out of nowhere.
Yeah. Did you grow up? Did your family grow up like in Muslim? Were they Muslim?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Are they still, or are they okay?
I mean, like everyone's born a Muslim. There's just
a thing, like being Catholic back home in Texas.
As far as like practicing, I don't know.
Okay.
It's really different because I just went back to Iran in June.
Okay.
It's really different.
Yeah.
Yeah, really different. The quality of life actually has gone up a lot since when we left. Yeah. Like
cool.
The government's a lot more lenient with people like expressing themselves.
Oh, cool.
Which was a really pleasant surprise for me. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, maybe I should like cover my arms. I have tattoos. I don't know. But dude, there's people, everybody has a tattoo now in Iran.
Okay.
It's just very like first world kind of feel.
Well, it went through phases, right? It was like super modern and then really like strict for a long time. And now is it leaning more towards that modern?
It is. Yeah. I think like they're kind of just like reading the room. They're like, hey, let people want this way of life. Let's kind of let them do it.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
So I was really happy when I went back. I was like, wow, like people, they're just living life.
Nice, man. So you get I hate to say accepted, but you're going to the States. You hear that you're going to the States. What's that process like?
They basically accepted our case.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, yeah, you're a good fit for the U.S. Then we had to wait for a sponsor.
Okay.
To like sponsor the trip, and the sponsor had to like basically let us like help us out for the first 6 months we're here, and then we're on our own, you know. And it turned out to be a First Christian Church in Mesa.
No kidding.
But yeah, they sponsored us.
That's cool.
And we didn't even know what Phoenix was. They're just like, you guys are going to Phoenix.
Cool.
Is it in America? Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah,
it was really cool.
You could have been anywhere.
Could have been anywhere. Yeah, I'm glad it was Phoenix. Yeah. Everything worked out really well.
Yeah.
And we show up at the airport and we see I see a sign with my name in Farsi. I was like, it's like, Dad, I think that's for us. There's like 30 people. They like knew that I liked soccer. They had like a soccer ball.
Oh, that's cool.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And we're like, wow.
That's
took us to our apartment. We're like, because we literally show up, we just thought that we get dropped off at the airport. We're going to be homeless till we figure it out. We didn't know.
Whoa.
And they're like, no, we have an apartment for you for 6 months with furnished.
Wow.
Yeah. Here's how you get food stamps.
No kidding.
Here's how you apply for a job.
Whoa. That's cool.
It was really cool.
That's cool.
After that, my dad, it was his mission to become like independent of all, like not needing any help.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons we became citizens really fast. Like my dad just refused to take food stamps.
Yeah.
Not that I don't look down on it. No. I don't think anyone. He just refused to do. He said it's probably better for us to learn how to survive on our own. We'll become citizens faster.
Yeah.
And it worked because out of all the people that we saw that were Middle Easterns, we got ours probably the fastest.
Yeah.
You know, like 5 years.
Wow.
And we got our citizenship.
Do you remember what kind of work your dad got? What kind of job he got when he first moved here?
Yeah, first he got into carpentry.
Okay.
He didn't know anything about it. It was like a manufacturing thing. You just sand these or whatever.
Awesome. Yeah.
And my dad's really stubborn. He don't wear the ear protection, so he fucked up his ears. Yeah. To this day, he has like this. So he quit that job. Yeah. But I remember like seeing him. It was like about 10 miles away. Just ride his bike to work, back.
Wow.
And then one day he comes home with a 4Runner. Like a brand new 4Runner. I'm like, you go from a bike to a brand new 4Runner.
Good for him, man. That's cool.
He bit off more than he could chew, though. He had to get
Okay.
car back. And we were like, he got like an old Crown Victoria.
Oh, nice.
Crown and then Vic, he got into driving taxis.
Okay.
Like if you're a Middle Eastern, that's like a proven path.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, man. So did he drive like downtown Phoenix and stuff like that?
Yeah,
or wherever?
Everywhere.
That's cool.
Like we didn't see him for about 6 years after that. When he got into taxi, we literally didn't see him. Just like
always
early in the morning, you'd hear the door open or close, like if he's leaving.
Yeah. Well, that's a hustle and a half. Like, because you're like, from what I understand, you're not working. You're kind of working for yourself, and you lease the car.
Yeah.
You got to pay. Yeah. You got to pay for that car. So yeah.
No matter what.
No matter what.
You don't have to work, but it's like whatever amount a week.
It's not like you're working at a store. You're leasing the vehicle that you're making money with.
Private contractor.
Yeah, you're private contractor. Yeah, exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So then he just didn't stop till he bought a house.
Yeah.
Then
no kidding.
Yeah. Then we moved to the North Phoenix area. He's like, we got to get out of the ghetto. Wow. We got to live in the ghetto. It's like, you know.
Yeah, man. Holy shit, dude.
He like grinded hard.
Yeah. And so coming into the U.S., you're part of this church group. You're living in the apartment for 6 months. How long did it take you to learn English?
Well, we came in May, so it was like summer break. So like the playground was right in front of our house. I don't know. Like it was weird. Like I just like all of a sudden could talk. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
because it was like my brain, I guess, was like already hardwired to learn new languages because I was born into Farsi, Kurdish, and Arabic.
Wow.
Then we learned Indonesian.
Yeah.
And then English.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my brain's like, come on.
Almost like a survival mechanism, right?
Yeah.
Like, it just kicks in. That's cool, man.
Yeah. Even in Indonesia, we spoke 2 dialects because of we spoke the national dialect and then the little village we were in.
Yeah, whatever regional dialect.
Cisarua. That was the name of the town or that region.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of had like a different way of saying things.
Yeah.
It's like almost like a Boston accent, but like, you know how it's like same but different?
Yes. Yeah, you got to listen. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
But like we learned that. People would always be shocked when I talk in that dialect in Indonesia.
Kidding.
Yeah, they'd be like, whoa, you speak Indonesian and then you speak this dialect on top of it? That's crazy.
That's cool, man. Yeah, that's a whole different part of the brain, right? That has to engage. But no, the reason I asked you about the English is so I had a lot of friends that were, so the people that I grew up with in Texas, you were either, man, I don't know, like just a regular, like people that had like the regular life, like their parents were teachers or cops or whatever, and they're from there, right? And then you had people that were like, okay, they're from Mexico, but they live there, and then and those were my migrant worker friends. They spoke English, they went to American schools, all that, but like they were on a migrant program where they went like part-time to school, and then their year was done sooner than ours, so they could go work fields in Midwest and stuff like that, during the harvest. And then you had people that just straight up came from Mexico, and they're like, okay, I live here now. And they don't speak any English. So a friend of mine, my gosh, man, he learned how to speak English by watching HBO.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he's like, that's where all the best movies were. So I would just watch TV and try to say what they're saying, and after a while you kind of see what they're doing and you kind of put it all together. And he was young enough.
Subtitles?
Yeah. And then you put it all together, and then you're young enough that your brain starts to absorb. But yeah, I had a lot of friends tell me that they learn while watching TV. That's why I was wondering if you're like, oh, I watch TV. I was going to laugh. But
yeah, I watch TV for sure.
Yeah.
They had Goddess Cable as well.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so I'm like flipping.
Your dad was all about it. He was all about the American life.
Oh my God, yeah, he loves America.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Now, do your parents ever go back?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
My mom goes every year. My dad's been twice.
Okay.
But my mom goes all the times.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm assuming you still have a lot of family there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're 95% of them live there.
That's cool.
I have a lot of family in Europe as well.
Okay. Okay. That's like, awesome.
Sweden, Denmark, Holland.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. That's cool. So I want to circle back to jiu-jitsu. Okay, so you're studying under Gustavo Dantas.
Yeah.
You just left your teaching gig. Steve Rosenberg took it over. Where did you go from there? Were you still a purple belt at that time?
I think I was a brown by then.
Brown belt. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you just go train full time at Gustavo's place?
I was actually still teaching 2 classes a week.
Okay.
At AZ Combat, but yeah, I went mostly towards like I was mostly training at Gustavo's and
Yeah.
still going there 2 days a week. And then I had a job that I would do on the side to like make money.
To make the real money? Yeah, that jiu-jitsu wasn't providing? Yeah.
Teaching 2 classes a week is not going to do anything.
Yeah.
But then my wife's a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
She's been for a long time. She's actually phasing out of it now. But then we opened our own spot in around 2016.
Okay. Yeah. So, and what's that like? Because I know my experience, but what's your experience opening up your own spot? It's got to be a little scary.
Very scary.
Yeah.
Especially like when you're like, well, these are the bills and I have nothing. So thankfully my wife like did good with tattooing.
Nice.
And she just like paid all the bills till we were able to.
Yeah.
You know, I was like making some money in my other job, but it would just be enough for car and like
something. Yeah.
Food.
Yeah. No,
Not rent.
I halfway joke that my wife has a real job so I can be an entrepreneur because I mean, it's tough, dude. It's a tough life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, it's funny because like I never really thought of it as a business owner, but you know, like when I don't know, Facebook or whatever, you have these memory photos of old classes and remember everybody still takes the jiu-jitsu pictures, but back then you look at the pictures and you're like, wow, there's only like 2 of us still training.
Yeah.
Out of all these 20 people, there's only 2 of us still training, you know? And now as an owner, you have to kind of accept that people come and go.
It hurts.
It sucks, right? Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're going to be so good, but I get it. There's more to life than jiu-jitsu, right? But like when people come in and they always leave with a smile and they're always happy.
Yeah.
You got to work out anyways. Might as well do this, right? And then those are the ones that, I mean, the people that never come in, I get it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But like if you love it and then you still stop, I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? That's a really good point. That's a really good point that you make because there's 2 people that really hurt. Like those that you like, you know, you invest in, right? You put the time into and they need it and you give it and because it takes a lot of energy to invest in someone, especially when it's not your family, right? It's somebody else. And then they leave. You're like, oh man, I can't believe they left. Or the ones that are like,
and then they don't tell you why.
No,
Has
they
that
just
ever happened?
Yes, they just disappear. Yeah,
Dude.
it happens more times than not. Actually, it's very rare that somebody comes in and sits down face to face and be like, "Hey, man, I can't do this."
I can't do it.
Yeah,
I don't know what they think I'm gonna do.
Right?
Like, now I'm gonna twist your arm into steak. Now I'll make my case. I'll be like, "Can you tell me why?"
Yeah,
you know. And have I talked people out of quitting? Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I respect boundaries. Like if they're just like, no.
All good.
I get it, bro.
Yeah, all
like
good.
Maybe one day you come back, you know, and if you don't, I don't know, pick up pickleball or something. Like,
yeah. We pickleball. That's another thing. But it's just funny because you know you have those, and then the people that show up like every day. They show up every day.
Gone.
Yeah, and then they just don't show up.
Like, what happened? Did he get? I don't know. He's not answering.
Yeah, and then they just ghost you. I mean, that's pretty much been.
I get it, man. I've been ghosted enough times where I'm like, I totally get it. Like I'll even run into them in public, and I'm like, dude,
it's okay, man.
It's all right, brother. Thanks for being a member when you were.
Yeah,
like I appreciate that.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't regret really any of the time I spent with people. You know what I mean?
No,
it's cool.
Yeah, because it's like we're all people.
Yeah,
you know, like when I left my first gym, I was like 18.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of ghosted them a little bit.
Well, you
I
were
don't know what to say.
Yeah, you were a kid. Yeah. Well, you know, I think what it is like people look at you as the strong one, right? And then like, you know, and I don't know. I know just for myself, like I did a lot of growing up in my 30s, believe it or not. It took me a little longer to grow up, but I did a lot of growing up in my 30s because I was that guy that would ghost. Like you and I would make plans and I just wouldn't show.
I see what you mean.
And in my mind, I was like, you know, it doesn't really matter if I show up or not. But in your mind, you'd be like, dude, what the fuck, bro?
Like
I
plan my day around
Yes,
this.
exactly. So, and I was that guy. And then I actually learned some hard lessons through some good friends that just told me, you know, called me out on it. And now it changed my whole perspective on it. And some people just think that way. So I kind of go back and be like, you know what? I went through that phase.
Yeah,
you know,
everyone
in my life.
goes at their own speed.
Yeah.
I did see the guy like literally a month later because I was working at a gas station, just like all Middle Easterns have to pay their dues in a gas station. I did that. And he came and I was like, oh, hey. He's like, oh, dude, so you're not training with us anymore? I was like, no, I'm sorry for being a little bitch about it.
Yeah.
But like no, I'm not. And he's like, that's cool, bro. Can I have like 30 on 30 on 2? He was all drunk too. Yeah. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, beep.
That's wild, man. That's wild. Hey, tell me about the guy that walked into your academy looking for a fight.
Oh,
tell me about that, dude. That kind of went viral.
It did. And I had to, I guess I'll get to why that video's not out anymore.
Yeah.
But like the dude walks in and I get like a real weird vibe from him. I'm like, because I'm teaching a private and Joey's there. Thank God he was there. Actually, he kind of helped me not hurt that guy. He talked me out of hurting him.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, hey, I'm looking for somewhere to train jiu-jitsu. And I could just tell he wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, are you sure about that? He's like, yeah, dude. But I don't want to sign up anywhere where I could beat the instructor. I was like, well, I could guarantee you can't beat me. Like, you don't have to guess.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, no, I'd rather roll with you. Can I come back later when there's a class going on so we can like do this? And I'm like, you want to do this in front of my crew? He's trying to like put me on the spot.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm like, nah, dude. I was like, well, you can't beat me, and I'm teaching a private, so I don't want to. And I look at the private guy. He's like, nah, go do your thing. Like,
shit.
Like, I'd rather see this. I was like, all right. I was like, well, here, sign this waiver.
Yeah.
He's like, let me pat you down.
Yeah.
So I pat him down. He just had change in his pocket. If you see the video, there's change flies everywhere. And the dude's like this big.
Yeah.
Then he like takes his shirt off. I was like, oh, fuck.
He was muscular too.
Yeah, I was like, you know, I find out a lot about him after the video goes viral because a lot of people hit me up.
Oh no.
But then so I like sit down on my ass, trying to be nice. I'm not trying to slam this guy or whatever. And he's like, get up, dude. This doesn't work on the streets. Get up. I was like, on the streets? You're trying to go there. So I stood up. I like snapped him down. He fell. I got him in like a kimura, and I put his arm like all the way behind his back, and it's about to go. I could feel it. And Joe, actually, I got him in a key lock. Yeah. Joey's like, his arm's about to, he's like, Joey's filming. Yeah.
That was Joey filming? That's funny. Filming. Yeah.
And Joey's like, you're about to snap his arm, dude. I was like, all right, I'll do something else. Then I did a kimura, and I did it kind of fast to just make him tap. And he just tapped, and then he got up, started talking shit. Like, this is not how it would go on the streets. You know, like, don't forget, like, he's talking shit the whole time we're rolling. Yeah. Like, very disrespectful stuff. Anyone that saw the video could, like, know, like, if you have done any martial art, like, you understand that you can't do that. Yeah. And so the dude leaves. We make fun of him. Because at that point, like, my alter ego came out. I was like, fuck you, dude.
Well, there was one point in the video where you look at him and you're like, you just say, you have to leave. Yeah. And I was like, okay, that's the look. Like, you don't want to take a step forward. Yeah. Yeah. So that's left. The look. Yeah.
And then we look him up. It turns out he has his own YouTube channel.
No.
Yes. And he's done this to other people.
And what's the outcome?
Unsuspecting people. He's beaten a couple people up, and he put it online.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
He's so delusional. Thank God I didn't go deeper into this, but the dude is so delusional. There's a video where he's calling out Conor McGregor. And calling him up. He's like, Dana, Conor, stop being scared. Like, sign the contract. I was like, what?
Oh, my God.
I can't, like, so I learned my lesson. I'm not engaging in that anymore.
No.
But, like, I started getting messages from people that knew him in high school. They're like, this guy has always been a bully, whatever. Even, like, somebody was, like, his wrestling teammate in high school. I guess in Florida or something in, like, 1990-something. Wow. He was the state champion in wrestling.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's just riding that wave.
Okay, yeah.
Just won't let it go.
Yeah.
Dude, he had a video on his YouTube channel where he's in his car with his daughter, and he's, like, filming a dude on his bike from his car. And he's like, that guy tried to sell my daughter drugs. So he gives the camera to his daughter, and he jumps the guy on video. Long story short, we have some police officers in our academy. Yeah. The guy has a warrant for his arrest right now.
No way.
Yeah, for a violent crime.
Oh, my God.
So I was just, like, glad that was behind us.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, fuck, that was a close one.
Yeah.
And then the dude, so I had to remove the video. I didn't mind getting hate online because people that don't understand martial arts thought I was bullying them. Mm-hmm. But on TikTok, there were some social justice warriors that blew up my spot. They figured out, and I put it on TikTok at night. In the morning, I wake up to all these notifications on my Google page. Dude, I had like 7 one-star reviews.
Oh no.
This guy's a bully. Don't ever go train there. All this stuff.
What?
Right. So then, like, I just was like, this is not
worth it.
Not
yeah.
just for some views. I did get like 5,000 followers on TikTok. I was like, all right, I gotta remove this. This is not worth it. Like, I didn't think like how other people are gonna perceive it. That, you know, looking back, probably could have handled it better.
You know, Issa, honestly, man, I think the way it could have gone and the way it went, you had kid gloves on.
Right.
Honestly, you could have done there when somebody walks into a jiu-jitsu academy with a black belt such as yourself, and they don't have any experience with jiu-jitsu or MMA, there is a 0.000% chance that they're going to quote unquote beat you.
Right.
Right. And you know it. They don't. And honestly, you toyed with him a little bit, and the key lock is one of those things where you can control the person and not hurt them if you choose not to.
Right.
Right. And I mean, you didn't choke him to sleep.
No.
You didn't punch him. You didn't do any of that.
Got a little blood here, but I think he like headbutted my knee.
Yeah.
Like, it was his fault.
Yeah.
Spazzing out.
Yeah. But I can tell you this, just from experience with this podcast, it doesn't matter what you say or do. You're going to piss somebody off.
Right.
You know, you're going to piss somebody off. And there's a lot of somebodies that just need an outlet. You know, they have their lives are so awful that they have nothing better to do than shit on somebody while they're taking a shit and doing TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, that's all they do. They've got so much pain inside that they just have to shit on you.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're a young, successful, you know, black belt. You chose, in my opinion, not to hurt somebody when you could have. You know, and they don't see it that way. They look at you as a bully. When that person came in, disrespected your academy,
even know the background.
They don't know that he's a violent criminal. You know, but you know what? They might. I don't know, yeah. They might, and they don't give a shit because you're the easier target.
Right.
You know, and it's like
just
one of those
some online hate. That's all you have to do is type.
100%. And you know, there's people, even like people that have you know, that are influential in the world, right? And I just remember hearing this one guy. There was somebody that, let's just say he didn't get the type of customer service that you would expect, right, from somebody. And he went to that person and said, you know what? I've got 5 million followers.
Yeah.
Threatening a person that works at a restaurant is probably just having a hard time.
Up their business.
Yes. Yeah. And there's just people like that, man. They just have to hurt somebody. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I don't know, man. I can understand why you took it down, though. It's not worth it.
We got those reviews removed except one.
Okay.
And the thing is, none of those people had ever walked into our gym. And I looked up their account, Google profile. They're all from like California.
Yeah. They don't know your heart. You know what I mean? They don't know who you are. So yeah.
So
I got a 1-star review.
What's that?
I got a 1-star review.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was 1-star review buddies.
Yeah. It was a guy. He walked in, and I kind of stalked him a little bit after because this is what he does. He goes to a place, and then he kind of pushes the not really pushes the envelope, but he waits for something to not be right, and then he 1-star reviews it. So he was saying like, you know, I came in, I had to wait a long time for the person to get to me. It was like 2 minutes. And then he says, you know, that the training there is mediocre at best. The classes are not that great. Yeah. He never took a class.
How do you even know, bro?
He never took a class. Yeah. So it's just one of those things, man. People just like to do that shit.
Yeah. The first bad review I got was from a guy that we had never met. It's still on. Like, I can't remove it. It's like 2 stars.
Yeah.
And the guy's from like some East Coast state.
Yeah.
And he came and like, because you see his profile timeline, he gave us a 2-star review, gave the Philbertos across the street a 1-star, and Fry's a 1-star.
Oh my God.
And that's it. There's no comment, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that? If you've never been into a business, you can't give them a review.
Yeah. It's, and that should be something that, I mean, Google's smart enough to, you know what I mean?
The problem is like you can never reach a real person on Google. It's always like over emails and whatever. So if you keep trying, you'll finally reach that one person that's like, I'll remove it.
Yeah.
It's not going to the same person every time.
Yeah. That's
just whoever is there that day.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's hard. Like, especially in our business, we're in the service business, right? We're providing a service to people. So, you know, you man, you got to watch what you say. And, you know, and a lot of times, like, you know, we got to, I hate to use this word, but we got to kind of eat shit because of that, that power that they have, right? That that Google
review
power.
thing.
Yeah. So, okay, you're right.
I say a lot of shit, bro. I say a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, especially like, people know I'm kidding. I think. Once in a while, I'll have somebody that leaves. I'm like, it's because I said something.
I guarantee it.
It has to be. And most of the time, it turns out like it's not.
Yeah. No. The thing with me is like, I really enjoy having a hard conversation.
Yeah.
I enjoy it because again, people leaving and ghosting. Like, if you would come back and tell me what I did, I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that because that means I won't repeat it, or I try not to. I mean, maybe I repeat it several times, but that helps me as a person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, I didn't like when you did, or I didn't like when you said that, right?
Yeah.
My bad, dude. All good.
I always push the envelope too. Yeah. I watch too much comedy. Like, I'm just like, whoever said this, so maybe I could say it too.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes I push it too far.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
You can't make everybody happy. That's just how it is.
No, I actually got some really good advice from another academy owner that, said, in 5 years, just like the pictures that we see, in 5 years, more than likely, you're going to be the only person in that picture still in the academy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you're trying to make decisions based on other people's opinion and happiness, you're the only one that's going to be standing there and miserable.
Right.
So you got to make decisions based on what's good for the club and what's going to make you happy.
Yeah.
So that's good advice.
Yeah. My goal every day that I walk in is like make everybody leave with a smile.
Yeah.
Get a good workout and learn something new.
Yeah.
Maybe not even something new. Maybe like you just tweak what you already learned, whatever.
Yeah.
Just get a little bit better, have fun. Like I want people to look forward to going there,
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, man.
It is what it is. Like going back to people that just like leaving for no reason.
No reason.
It's like, please tell me. Like I don't know, I'm not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
I just want to know. So like you said, to improve the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, and then I go even deeper into my brain. I was like, am I not approachable? Like, can people feel like they can't talk to me? I always try to make people feel like, like on the mats, of course, there's, the instructor and the students, whatever. But, once we leave the mats, like we're just buddies, man. We're just like friends that just hang out and do our thing. So I would hope that I'm approachable.
Yeah.
I think.
No, you are. Yeah. You've always been.
Yeah.
You talked about like getting deeper with conversations. Mm-hmm. You're one of the only people that ever found out like how I got to the US.
Really?
Just from like the first time I met you, we talked about it, right?
Yeah.
No, people don't get that far, right?
No kidding.
It's like, how long have you been doing just this long? Oh, cool.
Do you know what caught my attention? You, maybe you said it, or maybe he said it around me. Someone said, you said you were talking about Iran, and you said Iran that way. And then they're like, oh, Iran? And you said, no, I'm pretty sure it's Iran.
Iran?
Yeah.
And that's okay. I don't care how people pronounce it.
Yeah, but I thought that was funny. So so that's why I knew there was more to you. So I just wanted to find out. Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, listen, let everybody know how they can find you social media wise and where your academy is and all that stuff.
Sure. You can find me on One Love Grappling Arts on Instagram. Also, my personal page is Issa Able. Just put Issa Able, ISSAABLE. I think I'm the only one.
I think you are. Yeah.
In the world, maybe. I don't know. And then, that's it. And then we're actually opening another little mini business.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's going to be called Phoenix Recovery Hub.
Nice, man.
And we're doing like cold plunges, saunas, red light therapy, compression.
Same location as yours? As your place?
Yeah. Inside the building.
So jealous.
In the back.
Nice.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons we went a little bit big.
Yeah.
So I can like just put that in there as well. And we just had our sauna, not the sauna, the cold plunges and the red light therapy beds just came in last week. And we just have to like wire some things up so it can like power everything, and then we'll be up and running with that.
Yeah. So let me ask you one question. Do you sell memberships for Jiu Jitsu and your new business, the recovery?
We're gonna do a combo one.
Okay.
Yeah. Which you'll get a huge discount on like the second one.
Yeah.
Like 70% discount type of deal.
You can't beat it.
Or you could just do one.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not gonna be like
one or the other.
You have to do both.
Yeah. Are you gonna do any kind of guided cold plunging? Anybody gonna guide people, or are they just on their own?
As of right now, they'll be on their own.
On their own.
There's no Wim Hof.
I go to the place called Reconnect in Mesa, and there's a lady that just talks in my ear and talks me out of getting out.
Yeah.
Well, then she'll talk me into getting out. So she'll say things because I get this real bad pain in my hip, like nasty pain in my hip, and when it goes away, I'm good. Like I can be there for 10 minutes, right? Weird, but it hurts so bad. It's
when
like
you get in?
When I get in, it's like an ice pick in my hip. And it must, I don't know if it's a mental thing or there's something going on, but she's like, she's trying to talk me through staying in. And then once it goes away, like I'm in there, like I can be in there 7-10 minutes. And then she's like, and then she goes like, we don't compete against nature. It's okay to get out. It's like, all right, I'm kind of cold.
7 to 10 minutes is a long time. I did 3 minutes. And I was like, fuck.
It takes 3 minutes for that pain to go away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My wife knows all the science about it and everything. I'm just the guy like, I teach jiu-jitsu.
Get in the cold water. Sure. Yeah. Right on, man. Well, listen, thank you for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And you got any, are you competing or what are you doing?
Not anytime soon that I know of.
Okay.
I was going to do one next week, and then I found out the weigh-ins are an hour before rather than the day before. Oh. They only have one weight class.
Yeah.
And the weight's not coming off the way I was hoping. I was like, oh, dude, I'm on schedule. I need like 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks to be on that weight that I can make it, and I've done that mistake, especially in the last 2 years where I just like a shell of myself.
Gotcha.
I made weight, but what now? I was like, fuck, I got to compete.
Yeah,
like in an hour,
left.
I got nothing left.
That's the worst, man.
That's the worst. You got to manage that weight.
Yeah. Right on. Well, all right, everybody. If you love the podcast or if you hate the podcast, leave us a review. Please like and subscribe. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube, TheBJJ Foxcast. And check out BioPro, bioprotechnologies.com, and get their daytime and nighttime product. It's an awesome solution for those of you that are just trying to recover a little bit faster. Issa, thank you so much, brother.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thank you.
This episode of the BJJ Foxcast is brought to you by BioPro. BioPro is an all-natural alternative to prescription human growth hormone, which aids in recovery, anti-aging, metabolism, libido, immunity, skin health, cognition, sleep, and stress. Just 1 vial per day provides a substantial boost to all of these growth factors. Okay, so that's what they want me to say. Here's what I know as an aging grappler. I've been using BioPro Plus and the nighttime variant, BioPro Plus Cortisleep, for several months, and it feels like I've grown a 3rd lung. My gas tank is noticeably bigger, my recovery is faster, and I'm back on the mats much quicker, not just between training sessions, but between rounds. Now you can get $30 off your first order of BioPro when you use the code Foxcast at www.bioproteintech.com. That's code Foxcast for $30 off your first order at www.bioproteintech.com. Thank you, BioPro.